My name is Lamya Amleh, and I am a civil engineering professor specializing in the durability and sustainability of bridge infrastructure. I'm passionate about my field and have been involved in numerous successful research projects throughout my career. An interesting fact about me is that in my spare time, I love to walk. I'm a walker all the time, and I'm planning I love hiking also, and I'm planning to hike the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. Well, civil engineering is a fascinating field of engineering that involves, of course, planning, construction, design, operation, and maintenance of infrastructure projects, such as roads, bridges, buildings, dams, so many different structures. And civil engineers use, of course, the mathematics and the physics that you learn and other parts of engineering to create and enhance the infrastructure that supports our modern society. Well, we do have several challenges. Number one to me is the aging of our infrastructure. As you know, my research is in the durability and sustainability of infrastructure. So many of our walls, bridges, and roads and other infrastructures were built decades ago, and now they are in need to be replaced and maintained and repaired. Another challenge is climate change, and actually right now I'm working on impact of climate change on our infrastructure. The climate is changing drastically, and when we build civil or structures, we usually accommodate the environmental loads or when we build for it, like in the wind, the rain load, and because it is a load that is added on top of our structure. And the loads that we have is basically on the historical climate, and now the climate is changing drastically. And that's why, you've seen or you've heard from the news, there are a lot of areas that when they have floods, bridges are collapsing, everything. And that's, we need to really look at and retrofit and beef up our structures to withstand the new climate change. In the beginning, when I started working, and I was in Montreal, and being involved with a team who built the Promenades Cathedral, which is a shopping center underneath the Christ Church in the downtown Montreal. And the interesting thing about this is that this church was built in the 1800s, so I think it was 1850, 60, something like this, and it was built on soft soil, and because when they built it, they didn't go to the rock, up to the rock, and so the actual church is supposed to have a piece of stone on top of it. They had to remove it because it was sinking. So our task as the engineers, and we needed to build also a high-rise building beside it, is really to carry this church, that's historical church, and we're not going to be able to remove it. So we had to, build underneath it. It was a lot of work that needs to be done, and to make sure that nothing occurs in the building, and dig underneath that. So we had to hold it and then do a huge mole underneath it, and that was a very interesting and exciting project, because especially it was my first project and it was fascinating. In terms of the structural laboratory, we are focused on investigating and understanding the behavior of large-scale structures or specimens. We actually the students build these specimens and apply load on it, and until failure, until failure of that particular specimen, and we study the cracking behavior, how much load did it take to sustain, you know, until it failed, the deflection of that particular you know, specimen, and all of this. And we use, of course, we do a combination of analytical and experimental methods using that particular structural lab. And it's built, the way it is built, it's built to test heavy you know, specimens with a structural wall in there. The process of becoming a PEng in Ontario involves several steps. Number one, of course, is what we are all doing here, is the education. To become a professional engineer, you must obtain a degree in engineering from an accredited university. Then the next step is the experience. After graduating, you must complete 4 years of relevant supervised engineering work experience. I meant supervised, that means your supervisor there has to be a registered licensed engineer. You know, and nowadays, you know, you can actually use your internship here, your co-op internship here, as a part of the 4 years. So if you did a co-op in the 3rd year, then it is a part of it. So you need 4 years of experience. The third one, which is the examination. The third step is the examination. Once you have met the education and the experience, you can actually apply to write the professional practice examination, PPE. And this exam is administered by the PEO and tests your understanding of the professional practice as an engineer. Once you have once you have passed that PPE exam, you can then apply to become a licensed engineer. And as a professional engineer, you are responsible for designing, constructing, and maintaining an engineering project, irrespective of what discipline you are in. You're always designing for the public. As a director of the first year engineering office, I'm responsible for overseeing all aspects of the program, including program delivery, student success, student transitioning to the 2nd year, or transitioning into the 1st year, and then through transitioning to the 2nd year, and in their own engineering programs. I also ensure that students are receiving the best possible support that is available here. I work with the faculty and staff to provide guidance and resources for our students to assist them in achieving their academic goals. The development, you know, like especially I deal with durability of infrastructure, is the self-sensing structures. I mentioned and I spoke about the problems that happens in the structure. And the structure, you see, like it's when we investigate and research about a structure, and especially civil structures, they stand for a very long time. It's not like, you know, like any other structure, like a car that might, the longest maybe, you know, like for it to work constantly all the time, 20 years, but for our structures, they have to last for a long period. So we need to maintain it. And when we go and study the state of health of our structure, it's like a patient that does not speak to you, but you need to really understand how to test it, how to figure out how much loss of strength did we lose so far after that much or that long of years. And so having sensors built inside those structures can actually really help me. So this is something is becoming more and more nowadays. So I'm working on it. Take advantage of available resources, such as attending seminars, conferences, and networking events. Get some sort of certificate or certified. There is a lot of, now any type of engineering, there is a stress on lifelong learning. So the more you do and the more you will get more information about what is going on now and what is needed and where it is needed. So consider getting certified in a specialty field. It could be structural engineering or environmental engineering, doesn't matter, you know, like, because the civil engineering area is very vast, so you can actually be a master in some one or two of the areas. Of course, get hands-on experiences by being maybe a member of the societies and going through the competitions. There are several competitions that they can actually use. Get summer jobs in this area, even if you are just shadowing an engineer in an area that you are interested in within civil engineering. Stay up to date, you know, like, so on the latest developments in the field is very essential for all engineers. So read the latest news and research, you know, like, always open your eyes, and especially, like I mentioned earlier today about the earthquake, you know, like, just ask questions. How can we, and so stay up to date in that area. Develop strong communication skills. They are very essential in any profession, of course. Developing these skills will help you to effectively interact with clients and other professionals. My advice to these first-year students who are starting at TMU is, of course, to stay focused and work hard. Set goals for yourselves and strive to achieve them. Also, surround yourself with positive people and use your resources to stay on track. Take advantage of the many opportunities that is available to you and make the most of your experience. And I just want to repeat that, you know, like, first-year students usually, they think asking for help and learning about resources is some sort of a weakness, but actually this is the opposite. It's actually a strength, that if you know when you need your help, you are gonna come and ask for it and check those resources, because it shows that you are a very focused person and you have a goal and you want to reach it and you want to figure out all the ways, and then you make your choice. And of course, as you progress through your studies, don't forget to take care of yourself and find ways to relax and enjoy life and build memories for yourself.